Hi, my name is Brad Emery, and I'm sharing a little bit more explanation on my artifact for my Standard 3, looking at equity, inclusiveness, and cultural responsiveness. And this is component 3.2. We're looking at activity A, evaluating sources of inequality and bias in the allocation of educational resources and opportunities. It's a bit of a mouthful, but the artifact that I chose to use for this is a poverty simulation that I completed. I've actually had the opportunity to do two of these, one through the school and one outside through a community program, and both of them have been a really eye-opening experience, just taking a look at what does it feel like to be in poverty. And of course, a short hour or two simulation like this can't really show you what it's like to live in the midst of poverty, but it provided a great opportunity for me to just start thinking outside of what I'm used to, and it challenged me to look at my own bias, my own ideas about the way poverty works and how it looks for those who are caught up in the midst of poverty. So what I came to find out through these simulations is that those who are in poverty are in a constant battle and a constant state of just dysregulation and stress as they try to manage and maintain their daily lives and daily activities, and the constant hum and buzz of things that need done, and not having the resources and the community and the finances and the ability to keep up with all that really just starts to take a toll. And we even saw that in the poverty simulation lasted about 4 hours per simulation, and by the end of that, I was exhausted. Just the constant thinking of everything that's going on and trying to keep track of what you can do and how am I going to make it and how am I going to plan out. And this is from someone who's from the middle class and can do these plans and make these plans. And that was brought up at the end also, that what we experienced was with our knowledge of systems and the way things work. And so at the end of the simulation, I was just struck by the fact that so many of these people who are in poverty, it's not that they want to be there or that they're working the system, it's that the system doesn't work for them. The system is designed in such a way that digging yourself out of poverty is an incredibly difficult endeavor to undertake, and really the only way that you're going to successfully get yourself out of poverty is to have a community and a group of people who are rallying with you and behind you and supporting you on that journey. And so as far as how that relates to school, I want to make sure that as a teacher and as an educator, and someday perhaps as an administrator, that I'm making sure to provide support and provide as much as I can to be a part of that community that helps people who choose to take those steps out of poverty make that next step on their journey and take one step closer to being out of that constant dredge and just everything that comes with fighting against a system which isn't designed for the poor and those who have less among us. And ultimately, at the end of the day, as far as equity and inclusiveness and cultural responsiveness, I think the biggest takeaway in my classroom and in my perspective was the realization that someone in poverty or a family in poverty, they still love and care about their kids just as much as anyone else does. And so many of the things that we do unintentionally sends a message that we're disappointed or we're upset or we're angry or we think they're not good parents, when most of the time that's not the case at all. It's just that there is such a difference in the way they're living and having to just react rather than being able to plan ahead and be proactive, but they're in such a reactive state that we perceive things as bad parenting or bad practice or things that families shouldn't be doing, when in fact it's just really hard not to fall into those routines. So I don't want to come out of this with a pity, but I definitely want to walk away with an empathy towards those who are in poverty and facing those challenges. And I truly believe that that empathy and that beginning of understanding that will continue to grow is what is going to help provide a foundation and a base work to practice equitable and inclusive strategies and things, both as an educator and as a future administrator. So thank you for taking the time to watch this and get hopefully a little bit more of an explanation of why I included this artifact.